Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of discipline? What if the key to unlocking your potential, to achieving your dreams, lies not in fleeting moments of inspiration, but in your daily, consistent actions? Discipline is the foundation of all great achievements, and one of the most powerful ways it manifests is through consistency. Many people think of discipline as something you do in moments of intense focus or when you're forced to push through resistance. But in reality, discipline is not about sporadic bursts of effort. It's about the simple, everyday actions that you choose to repeat over time, regardless of external circumstances, feelings, or temporary distractions. True discipline is not about waiting for motivation to strike or relying on willpower alone. It's about developing a rhythm, a pattern of behavior that aligns with your higher purpose, goals, and values. The power of consistency and discipline cannot be overstated. When you commit to a goal, it's often the smallest actions performed regularly that yield the biggest results, not the grand, sporadic efforts. Whether you're aiming to improve your physical health, advance in your career, or cultivate a deeper understanding of yourself, it is the consistency of your efforts that will determine whether or not you succeed. You see, discipline is the act of making small decisions each day that compound over time to produce exponential results. Imagine you're building a house. The foundation is poured brick by brick, not by a single massive act of construction. You don't see the immediate results of each brick you lay, but over time, as you continue with consistent effort, a structure begins to emerge. Similarly, discipline in life is the steady laying of bricks that will eventually form the structure of your success. These daily choices, whether they are about maintaining focus, following through with commitments, or resisting distractions, create a momentum that will carry you forward, often in ways you can't predict in the moment. Think about the habits you form throughout your life. Whether they're good or bad, they were created by a consistent pattern of behavior. If you've ever found yourself caught in a cycle of procrastination or negative thinking, it's because you've reinforced those patterns through repeated behavior. In the same way, if you want to break free from old habits and cultivate new ones that serve you, the solution is found in repetition. One day of effort is not enough to create lasting change, but a day built on the principles of discipline over and over can bring profound transformation. The brain is wired to follow patterns, and these patterns can either serve you or work against you. Every time you engage in a consistent disciplined action, you're essentially training your brain to focus and work in a certain way. This isn't about forcing yourself to do things that feel hard, but about intentionally aligning your actions with your desired outcome. It's a process of conditioning. Just like any muscle in the body, your ability to act consistently strengthens with use. The more you show up for yourself, even when it feels difficult or when you don't feel like it, the easier it becomes. Over time, the brain becomes conditioned to focus on long-term rewards rather than short-term gratifications, and discipline becomes second nature. In the world we live in, we're constantly bombarded by distractions, social media, endless entertainment, notifications that pull us away from what truly matters. If you are to develop consistency in your discipline, you must become adept at cutting through these distractions. Discipline is the ability to say no to the noise around you and say yes to your own personal growth. It is the quiet power of making choices that align with your highest vision, even when those choices may not feel immediately gratifying. This ability to stay consistent in the face of challenges is what sets high achievers apart from those who struggle to reach their goals. Most people give up after a setback or when they don't see immediate results, but true discipline requires patience and the ability to trust in the process. It means understanding that every disciplined action, no matter how small, is contributing to something much larger than you can see in the moment. Consistency also builds self-confidence. The more you show up for yourself and take small, disciplined actions toward your goals, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable. This sense of inner strength and reliability is crucial when the going gets tough. When challenges arise, discipline gives you the fortitude to persevere, knowing that your consistent efforts are the key to overcoming obstacles. The beautiful thing about consistency is that it doesn't require perfection. In fact, perfection is an illusion that can often prevent progress. What matters most is that you stay the course, even if you falter along the way. Every mistake, every detour is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to refine your approach. Success is not about never making mistakes. It's about continuing to show up, no matter the circumstances, and remaining committed to the long-term vision you have for yourself. Consistency and discipline is about creating a lifestyle. It's about designing your life in such a way that every action you take supports your greatest aspirations. When you embody discipline in your everyday choices, you start to build momentum that propels you toward your dreams. And as that momentum grows, so does your power, because when you are consistent, you are unstoppable. Consistency is the most important ingredient in the recipe for success. It's not the grand moments of effort, but the small, deliberate actions that compound over time to create meaningful, lasting change. Whether you're working on personal growth, pursuing a career goal, or building a relationship, consistency will always be the force that brings your aspirations into reality. One of the most profound aspects of discipline is its ability to shape the brain itself. When we engage in disciplined actions, we're not just creating changes in our external world, but also reprogramming the very neural pathways that govern our behaviors, thoughts, and habits. Every time you act with purpose, every time you choose consistency over ease, you're rewiring your brain to make focus, self-control, and goal-oriented thinking more automatic. This process of creating new neural pathways is essential for growth and transformation, and it highlights the deep connection between the mind and the body. To understand how this works, let's think about the brain as a network of roads. Over time, the roads we use most often become wider, smoother, and more efficient, while the roads we neglect tend to grow narrower, overgrown, and harder to travel. These roads in the brain are neural pathways, patterns of thought and behavior that are reinforced through repetition. If you spent years reacting impulsively to stress, you've built a strong neural pathway that governs this automatic response. Every time a stressful situation arises, your brain follows that well-worn path and your behavior follows suit. When you introduce discipline into your life, you begin to lay down new roads, new neural pathways that are stronger, clearer, and more aligned with your goals. The key here is repetition. It's not about forcing yourself to change in a single moment, but about continuously choosing the new pathway over and over until it becomes the default route. This is where the concept of neuroplasticity comes into play, the brain's remarkable ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. Neuroplasticity allows you to break free from old habits and form new, more empowering ones. And discipline is the vehicle through which this change occurs. Think about learning a new skill or behavior. In the beginning, it feels awkward, unnatural, even uncomfortable. Whether it's learning a new language, starting a workout routine, or adopting a new mindset, the brain struggles to create those new pathways. But as you continue to practice, those neural connections begin to strengthen. The action that once felt difficult now feels more natural, more ingrained, and more automatic. Eventually, what was once an effortful, conscious decision becomes an unconscious, habitual response. This is the power of discipline that allows you to turn conscious effort into unconscious habit, making positive behaviors more instinctive and less reliant on willpower alone. This process of rewiring the brain is not just about achieving external success. It's also about creating a new relationship with yourself. The more disciplined you become, the more control you have over your thoughts and actions, and the less influenced you are by the automatic reactions that may have held you back in the past. As you continue to practice disciplined behaviors, you start to see a shift in your internal world. Your mind becomes sharper, more focused, and more resilient. You become less likely to fall into patterns of self-doubt, procrastination, or distraction because your brain is being trained to prioritize long-term goals over immediate gratification. The brain doesn't just grow stronger through positive actions, it also thrives when we challenge ourselves. Discipline isn't about avoiding discomfort, it's about embracing it, knowing that discomfort is a sign of growth. When you push yourself beyond your current limits, whether physically, mentally, or emotionally, you create more room for the brain to adapt and evolve. The new neural pathways that you create are the result of your ability to step outside your comfort zone, to face challenges head-on, and to persist in the face of adversity. The beauty of this process is that it's not a linear journey. The brain doesn't change in a straight line, and growth is not always visible in the short term. But through consistent effort, you begin to notice small, incremental shifts, a slight increase in focus, a reduction in impulsive reactions, an ability to stick with tasks longer, or an increased sense of motivation. These small changes accumulate over time and create a profound transformation. Eventually, your behavior aligns more naturally with your goals, and the discipline that once required conscious effort becomes an effortless part of who you are. One of the most powerful aspects of discipline is that it's a force that compounds over time. Just as small actions accumulate to create big results, so too do the neural changes that occur through consistent discipline. As you continue to act with purpose and consistency, you not only transform your habits, but also become someone who sees challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles. The brain's capacity to evolve and adapt means that there is no limit to the growth you can achieve, as long as you stay committed to the process of discipline and continue to strengthen the new pathways you are creating. The more you engage in disciplined behavior, the more resilient you become in the face of life's challenges. Each time you act with discipline, whether it's resisting a temptation, sticking to a plan, or pushing through fatigue, you strengthen the neural connections that allow you to persevere. Over time, these connections grow stronger and your ability to handle adversity with grace and confidence improves. You begin to realize that discipline is not just a tool for achieving goals, it's a way of becoming the person who can handle any challenge that comes their way. Discipline is the key to unlocking the brain's incredible potential. Through consistent, purposeful action, you can rewire your mind to align with your highest goals, creating new neural pathways that enable you to reach levels of performance and personal growth you may have once thought were impossible. Discipline doesn't just change your behavior, it changes who you are on a neurological level, creating a new version of yourself that is more focused, more resilient, and more aligned with your true potential. Discipline is not just about physical action or external behavior. It begins much deeper within the mind. It's fundamentally about mental control, the ability to direct and manage your thoughts, emotions, and impulses to achieve a higher purpose or goal. In many ways, the mind is the battleground where true discipline is won or lost. It's not about avoiding discomfort or forcing yourself into rigid routines. True discipline is about training your mind to choose the long-term rewards over short-term gratification, to rise above the distractions that lead you away from your goals, and to maintain a sense of focus and clarity even in the midst of chaos. Our minds are constantly bombarded by stimuli. The endless stream of thoughts, the emotional fluctuations that occur throughout the day, and the constant pressure of external distractions can easily pull us away from our objectives. These mental distractions are often the root cause of procrastination, lack of focus, and inconsistency. A lack of mental discipline is the primary reason why so many people start something with enthusiasm but struggle to see it through. The difference between those who succeed and those who falter is not necessarily intelligence, talent, or circumstance. It's the ability to stay mentally disciplined. To cultivate mental discipline, we must first understand how our thoughts shape our reality. Every goal, dream, or action we undertake starts as a thought. Our thoughts determine how we feel, how we behave, and how we respond to the world around us. If we entertain negative, limiting thoughts or allow ourselves to be swept away by emotions like fear, doubt, or anxiety, we will act in ways that are not aligned with our highest potential. In contrast, when we practice mental discipline, we become the masters of our thoughts. We choose not to let our emotions dictate our actions, but instead create an inner state of focus, clarity, and purpose. Consider how often we succumb to the temptations of our minds, the desire to check social media, to eat that unhealthy snack, or to procrastinate when we know we should be working. These are all the result of impulses that arise within us. They are often the immediate desires or reactions that are at odds with our long-term goals. The ability to discipline these impulses is what separates those who are successful in their endeavors from those who remain stuck. Mental discipline means training yourself to delay gratification, to not give in to every fleeting impulse, and instead to consistently choose actions that align with your deeper intentions. The key to mental discipline is awareness. By becoming aware of the thoughts that arise in your mind and the emotions that drive those thoughts, you can begin to separate yourself from them. You are not your thoughts, you are the observer of your thoughts. This realization is empowering because it gives you the space to choose how to respond. Rather than reacting impulsively to every distraction or emotional upheaval, you learn to step back, assess the situation, and make a conscious decision to stay focused on your long-term vision. This awareness helps you resist the urge to follow the path of least resistance and instead remain dedicated to your goals. Another important aspect of mental discipline is the ability to manage your emotional state. Emotions are powerful forces and they have a tremendous impact on our decision-making. When we are in a negative emotional state, we tend to make decisions based on short-term relief or comfort. For example, when we are stressed, we might avoid work and indulge in distractions like watching TV or eating junk food. But true mental discipline is about being able to recognize these emotional triggers and choosing a course of action that is in line with our values and goals. This means that even when you're feeling tired, overwhelmed, or frustrated, you can still choose to take the next productive step rather than being controlled by your emotions. Building mental discipline also involves developing the ability to focus. In a world where attention is often scattered across a million different things, maintaining focus is a skill that must be cultivated. Focus is not something you can rely on in spurts. It must be trained and sustained over time. When you practice mental discipline, you are actively training your mind to concentrate on one task at a time, to resist the urge to multitask, and to bring your attention back when it starts to wander. This type of focus allows you to be more productive, creative, and efficient. It also gives you a sense of control over your life because you are no longer at the mercy of distractions or erratic emotions. Instead, you are fully present, aligned with your purpose, and able to take deliberate actions that move you closer to your goals. The practice of mental discipline is not an all-or-nothing endeavor. It's not about being perfect, but about becoming better day by day. Every time you notice your mind wandering, every time you resist the temptation to procrastinate, or every time you choose to stay focused despite the distractions, you are strengthening your mental discipline. Over time, these small moments add up and your ability to maintain focus, emotional control, and mental clarity improves. The key is consistency. Mental discipline is like a muscle that gets stronger with regular exercise. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes to manage your mind and stay aligned with your higher purpose. Mental discipline is what empowers you to take control of your life. It's the ability to focus your mind on what matters, to stay committed to your goals, and to consistently make choices that align with your highest aspirations. It's about creating a mindset that supports your vision rather than one that undermines it. And by practicing mental discipline, you not only achieve your goals, but also cultivate a sense of inner peace, confidence, and self-mastery. You become the architect of your thoughts, emotions, and actions, and in doing so, you become the creator of your own reality. Discipline is not merely about the actions we take in the present moment. It is ultimately about reprogramming our subconscious mind to work in alignment with our goals and aspirations. The subconscious mind plays a powerful role in shaping our behaviors, attitudes, and automatic responses to life. Most of what we do daily is not based on conscious thought, but on ingrained patterns that are embedded deeply within the subconscious. This is why so many people struggle to make lasting changes in their lives. They fail to recognize that the real battle is not in the conscious mind, but in the subconscious. To truly transform, we must first reprogram the subconscious, and discipline is the most effective tool we have to do this. At the core of the subconscious mind are habits. Every action, every thought, every behavior that we repeat consistently eventually becomes an automatic process governed by the subconscious. If you've ever found yourself reaching for your phone the moment you wake up or automatically feeling stressed when faced with a difficult situation, you are experiencing the influence of your subconscious programming. These actions aren't necessarily deliberate decisions. They are the result of repeated behavior that has been etched into the subconscious over time. The subconscious mind does not differentiate between positive and negative patterns. It simply accepts what is repeated over and over again, and this becomes the default mode of operation. When we practice discipline, we begin the process of consciously overriding the automatic responses of the subconscious. This process is not easy or immediate. It takes consistent effort and focus to change the deeply ingrained patterns that have been built over months, years, or even decades. But with discipline, we begin to replace negative, self-sabotaging habits with positive, empowering ones. Every time you make a disciplined choice, whether it's waking up earlier, sticking to a workout routine, or resisting the temptation to procrastinate, you are sending a signal to your subconscious that this new behavior is important. Over time, your subconscious begins to accept this new behavior as normal, and the automatic response shifts. This is how lasting change occurs. Reprogramming the subconscious mind is also about breaking free from limiting beliefs that may have been instilled in you over the years. These beliefs, often formed in childhood or during formative experiences, can dictate how you see yourself in the world. They can create a mental barrier that limits your potential, causing you to doubt your abilities or hold back from pursuing your dreams. For example, if you were taught that money doesn't grow on trees or that you can't have everything you want, these beliefs can influence your actions and decisions without you even realizing it. Even if you consciously desire success or abundance, your subconscious mind may be working against you because it holds on to these old beliefs. The power of discipline is that it allows you to actively challenge and replace these limiting beliefs. Every time you choose a disciplined action that goes against the grain of your old programming, you are dismantling these limiting beliefs and creating new, empowering ones. But when you make a commitment to yourself, follow through with it, and see the results of your actions, you begin to rewire your subconscious mind to believe that you are capable of achieving whatever you set your mind to. As you repeat these actions, your subconscious accepts the new belief that success, abundance, and fulfillment are not only possible but inevitable. This process of reprogramming the subconscious is not just about shifting beliefs, it's about aligning your mind, body, and emotions. True discipline requires more than just controlling your actions. It requires bringing your entire being into harmony with your goals. When your subconscious mind, conscious mind, and emotional state are aligned, you become unstoppable. Your actions become more powerful because they are fueled by a deep belief in your ability to succeed, and your emotions no longer act as roadblocks, but as fuel that propels you forward. This alignment between thought, action, and emotion creates a powerful synergy that makes achieving your goals feel almost effortless. The beauty of reprogramming the subconscious through discipline is that it doesn't require you to fight against your natural tendencies or use brute force. Instead, it's about persistence and consistency. The more consistently you act in alignment with your goals, the more you build new pathways in your subconscious that support your success. Over time, you no longer have to consciously struggle against negative patterns. They simply dissolve as the new, positive habits take root. It's like planting a seed at first. The seed is fragile and you must nurture it with daily care. But eventually, as the roots grow deeper, the plant becomes stronger and more resilient, no longer dependent on external forces to survive. This process of subconscious reprogramming is an ongoing journey. Even after you've successfully replaced old habits and beliefs, it's important to maintain the discipline that continues to reinforce these new patterns. Life will always present new challenges, new distractions, and new temptations, and your subconscious mind will attempt to revert to its old ways if you let it. But as long as you continue to practice discipline, as long as you remain committed to your goals and consistent in your actions, the new programming will continue to hold strong. Over time, you'll notice that not only do your habits and behaviors change, but so does your identity. You begin to see yourself as a person of discipline, as someone who follows through on commitments, as someone who is capable of creating lasting transformation. The power of discipline lies in its ability to reprogram the subconscious mind. By consistently choosing disciplined actions, you can replace old, limiting behaviors and beliefs with new, empowering ones that align with your highest potential. This process of reprogramming takes time, patience, and persistence, but the rewards are immense. As you cultivate discipline in your daily life, you gradually transform not only your actions, but your entire mindset, setting the stage for lasting, meaningful change. Discipline is often seen as the force that propels us toward our goals, but it is also the gateway to something even more profound: self-mastery. Self-mastery is the ability to govern one's own behavior, emotions, and thoughts in a way that aligns with one's highest values and purpose. It is the foundation of personal growth and transformation. Without self-mastery, our actions are driven by external circumstances, impulses, and temporary desires rather than by a deep sense of intention and purpose. Discipline is the tool that allows us to achieve this mastery, not just over what we do, but over who we are. At the heart of self-mastery lies the ability to control our impulses. The human mind is naturally inclined to seek immediate gratification, whether that gratification comes in the form of food, entertainment, or the avoidance of discomfort. These impulses can lead us away from our long-term goals and cause us to act against our best interests. The ability to resist these immediate temptations is perhaps one of the most important aspects of self-mastery. It requires the discipline to choose the difficult but necessary path in the moment, knowing that the reward will be far greater in the future. For instance, the simple decision to work through distractions instead of giving in to the temptation to check your phone or browse social media. In the short term, checking your phone may provide a momentary escape or a sense of relief. But in the long term, it steers you away from your true priorities, robbing you of the time and focus required to achieve your goals. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you strengthen your ability to resist impulses and make decisions that align with your greater purpose. Over time, this practice of resisting small temptations builds your capacity for greater self-control in all areas of life. Self-mastery also requires the ability to manage emotions, particularly those emotions that arise in response to challenging or difficult situations. It's easy to stay disciplined when everything is going well, when motivation is high and obstacles are few. But true discipline and self-mastery shine brightest when things get tough. The ability to stay calm, composed, and focused under pressure is what separates those who achieve great things from those who falter when faced with adversity. Emotions like fear, frustration, and self-doubt can be incredibly powerful forces, but they can also be harnessed as tools for growth. By practicing discipline, we learn to observe our emotions without being controlled by them. We learn to respond intentionally rather than react impulsively. In moments of doubt or fear, many people freeze or abandon their efforts, convinced that they are not capable of succeeding. But someone who practices self-mastery understands that fear is not a signal to stop, it's an opportunity to grow. Rather than allowing fear to dictate their behavior, they use it as fuel to take action. This is not about suppressing emotions, but about learning to manage and channel them productively. When you learn to control your emotional responses, you free yourself from the grip of negative feelings, and you give yourself the ability to act with clarity and purpose regardless of the circumstances. Self-mastery requires a deep level of self-awareness. To truly master oneself, one must first know oneself. This involves an honest and objective examination of one's strengths, weaknesses, tendencies, and triggers. Without this self-awareness, it is easy to fall into old patterns of behavior that keep us stuck in mediocrity. Discipline is the process through which we bring our unconscious habits and tendencies into the light of awareness, allowing us to make conscious choices about how we want to live. If you know that you tend to procrastinate when faced with tasks that require deep focus, you can use discipline to create a structure and routine that mitigates this tendency. By consciously deciding to allocate time for focused work, you can break the cycle of procrastination and build a new habit of productivity. But this process begins with awareness, the awareness that procrastination is not just an external problem, but an internal one rooted in a lack of self-mastery. Discipline gives you the clarity and commitment needed to break free from these patterns. The journey of self-mastery also involves cultivating a mindset of long-term thinking. It's easy to fall into the trap of seeking immediate results, but true growth takes time and patience. Mastering oneself requires the ability to delay gratification and stay committed to the process, even when the rewards are not immediately visible. This means choosing to stay disciplined during the long, often tedious process of achieving your goals, trusting that the results will come in time. People who lack self-mastery often give up too soon, unable to tolerate the discomfort or uncertainty that comes with sustained effort. Discipline, however, teaches you to remain steadfast, to keep your eyes on the horizon, and to trust that every step, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your ultimate destination. Self-mastery is also about aligning your actions with your deeper values and purpose. It's easy to get caught up in the distractions of everyday life and lose sight of what truly matters. Discipline allows you to make decisions based on your highest aspirations, not on temporary emotions or external pressures. It requires the courage to say no to things that are not in alignment with your vision, and the strength to stay true to yourself, even when others may try to pull you off course. Self-mastery is the key to unlocking your full potential. It is the foundation of a life lived intentionally, a life where every decision and action is in harmony with your true desires and values. Discipline is the tool that allows you to master yourself, not in the sense of controlling every aspect of your being, but in the sense of consciously choosing how to respond to the world and how to shape your own destiny. Through discipline, you gain the power to direct your energy, thoughts, and actions toward the highest expression of yourself, creating a life that reflects your deepest potential. Discipline is the key that unlocks the ability to achieve extraordinary results. When we talk about discipline, we often focus on the habits, routines, and actions that are necessary to succeed in life. But the true power of discipline lies in its compounding effect, the way small, consistent actions build upon each other to create massive transformation over time. This compounding effect is one of the most significant, yet often underestimated aspects of discipline. Just as compound interest builds wealth over years, disciplined actions, repeated consistently, lead to exponential growth in our personal development, success, and fulfillment. To understand how discipline compounds, it's useful to look at the principle of incremental progress. The idea is simple: success is rarely the result of a single monumental effort, rather, it is the culmination of countless small, deliberate actions taken over time. Think about physical fitness. No one wakes up one day and suddenly runs a marathon or achieves their peak physical form. Instead, it's the result of consistent effort over months and years, small improvements in strength, endurance, and diet that compound to create lasting change. The same principle applies to every area of life, from learning a new skill to building a successful career or cultivating meaningful relationships. One of the most powerful aspects of discipline is that it doesn't require immediate rewards or instant gratification. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with messages that suggest we should expect quick results, the ability to stick with a disciplined process despite the absence of immediate payoff is one of the most valuable traits you can develop. The act of showing up every day, taking the small steps, and remaining consistent even when the progress is invisible to the naked eye is what creates the momentum that propels us forward. It's often easy to overlook the small wins, the slight improvements, the progress that feels barely noticeable in the moment, but it is precisely these small wins, compounded over time, that lead to remarkable achievements. This compounding effect of discipline is not just about external achievements, it also transforms you on a deeper internal level. As you consistently show up for your goals, even when the results are not immediate, you begin to build a new identity. You start to see yourself not as someone who is easily distracted or easily discouraged, but as someone who is committed, resilient, and capable of achieving what they set out to do. Each disciplined action reinforces the belief that you are someone who can succeed, and over time that belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you engage in disciplined behavior, the more you strengthen the neural pathways that support your ability to stay focused, stay persistent, and keep moving forward. This compounding effect works in ways that extend beyond our immediate actions. Over time, discipline breeds trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust in the direction you are heading. As you stay consistent, you gain confidence that your efforts are not in vain. This trust is critical because it allows you to maintain your focus when obstacles arise or when you encounter setbacks. Everyone faces challenges along the way. Life is unpredictable, and not every effort will yield immediate results. But when you have built a foundation of trust through disciplined actions, you are more likely to persevere because you know that each step, no matter how small, is contributing to the bigger picture. The compounding effect of discipline also extends to the people around you. As you develop discipline in one area of your life, it often has a tactile effect that influences other areas. The consistency you bring to your work spills over into your relationships, your health, and even your mindset. Similarly, your disciplined actions can inspire and influence others. When people see your commitment and consistency, they are more likely to be inspired to follow suit, creating a supportive environment that fosters growth for everyone involved. This interconnectedness between your discipline and the people around you creates a network of support and accountability that propels everyone toward greater success. It's also important to recognize that the compounding effect of discipline is not always linear. While you may not see dramatic changes immediately, over time your efforts begin to accumulate and compound in ways that you can't always predict. At first, the progress may seem slow and the results may feel almost insignificant. But then, at a certain point, something clicks. The small actions that you've been repeating for months or even years begin to pay off in ways that feel almost effortless. The results may seem sudden, but in reality, they are the culmination of all the consistent actions you've taken up until that point. It's like planting seeds and tending to them regularly. At first you may see little more than soil and a few tiny sprouts, but after a while the seeds begin to grow into something much larger and more significant. This is where the power of patience comes in. The compounding effect of discipline requires us to trust the process and have faith in the long-term results, even when the rewards aren't immediately visible. It's easy to become disheartened when progress feels slow or when we don't see the immediate fruits of our labor. But those who understand the compounding nature of discipline are able to stay the course, knowing that every small effort is building towards something greater. They understand that true success is not a sprint but a marathon, and that the consistency and patience required to make it through the marathon will eventually yield the results they desire. The compounding effect of discipline is the force that leads to personal transformation. It is the key to achieving sustainable growth in any area of life. Through small, consistent actions, you create habits, mindset shifts, and momentum that add up over time, enabling you to reach heights that once seemed impossible. Whether you are working on your health, career, relationships, or personal development, the compound effect of discipline makes all the difference. By staying committed, remaining patient, and trusting the process, you unlock your true potential and achieve extraordinary results, one small step at a time. In conclusion, discipline is the foundation upon which all success is built. It is not just about following rigid routines or adhering to strict rules. It is the conscious, consistent effort to stay aligned with our deepest values, goals, and aspirations. Discipline is the quiet force that shapes our actions, transforms our habits, and reprograms our subconscious mind, enabling us to achieve results that would otherwise seem unattainable. It allows us to rise above the noise of distractions, the pull of immediate gratification, and the emotional turbulence of life, enabling us to focus on what truly matters. Through discipline, we cultivate mental resilience, self-awareness, and emotional control qualities that empower us to manage setbacks, stay committed during times of struggle, and ultimately master ourselves. It teaches us that success is not an event, but a journey, one where the compounded effects of small, consistent actions accumulate over time to create extraordinary change. Each discipline choice, no matter how small, propels us closer to our highest potential, shaping us into the individuals we were meant to become. Discipline is not merely about achieving external goals, it's about creating internal mastery, the kind of mastery that allows us to remain focused on our purpose, to respond with clarity in the face of challenges, and to trust in the long-term process of growth. It's about becoming the architects of our own lives, shaping our futures with every disciplined action we take. The next time you feel tempted to give in to distractions or procrastinate on your dreams, remember that every small step forward counts. Every act of discipline is a building block toward your transformation. The path may not always be easy, but it is through the power of discipline that we unlock the ability to create lasting change and truly step into the life we desire. Keep going. Trust the process. The compounding power of discipline will guide you to greatness.